Salam keluarga Malaysia. Good evening. I'm Azlani and you're watching News at 10. In our top stories tonight, flash floods hit federal capital again. And free balik kampung as government lifts tolls on highway. Waters from the flash floods, which struck parts of the federal capital today at 3:30 p.m. following a heavy downpour, have begun to recede. Kuala Lumpur Fire and Rescue Department Operations Centre said they received an emergency call on the flash floods at 3:51 p.m. today. The emergency call saw the department deploy its personnel and machinery to the affected locations. Kuala Lumpur City Police noted that the emergency siren at Sungai Toba sounded at around 4:30 p.m. following an overflow of water from the river. The Kuala Lumpur Fire and Rescue Department's Operations Centre in a statement said fire engines from 7 stations with 42 firemen rushed to several affected locations. Heavy continuous rain since 3 p.m. resulted in several locations in the nation's capital being inundated by flash floods and caused traffic jams, but no damage to vehicles were reported to date. The Malaysian Meteorological Department had issued a thunderstorm and heavy rain warning nationwide until 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. today. Kuala Lumpur were last hit by flash floods on 7th of March. The government has agreed to allow toll-free rides and toll discounts of up to 50% to Malaysian families in conjunction with Aidilfitri this year. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Semasa in a statement today announced that highway users could enjoy the toll-free rides this weekend as well as next weekend for their return trip to their hometowns. The toll-free rides, however, will only involve highways owned by Kumpulan Plus Malaysia Berhad through its North-South Expressway network and Aneh Berhad with the East Coast Expressway LPT. He said the toll-free rides will begin at 12:01 a.m. on 30th April until 11:59 p.m. on 1st of May and from 12:01 a.m. on 7th May until 11:59 p.m. on 8th of May for all classes of vehicles. Apart from that, toll discounts of between 30 and 50% will also be given for all classes of vehicles on other highways during the same time and days. The Prime Minister said the move was taken following discussions with 30 highway concessionaires. However, overall, he said the toll-free rides and toll discounts would involve 30 highways across the country, with discounts to be enjoyed by users totaling 77.11 million ringgit. The amount will be jointly borne by the government and the concessionaires. The relaxation of several standard operating procedures SOP scheduled to be announced on Wednesday has been deliberated carefully to ensure the safety of the people. Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin said the government did not want to make a mistake and let all efforts to curb the spread of COVID-19 to go in vain.
Pihak KKM dapat bincang panjang lebar tentang perkara ini sebab kita tak nak tersilap langkah. Kita dah urus pandemik dengan baik dan kes makin menurun, hospital kita tidak tertekan. So we don't want to make a mistake. We want to make sure that whatever restrictions that we loosen, kelonggaran yang kita bagi kepada SOP adalah bersifat selamat dan cermat.
He said this when met by reporters today. On the Hajj pilgrimage, he said the MOH would issue a new protocol following the requirements imposed by the Saudi Arabian government on pilgrims this year. There could be a slight increase in COVID-19 cases after the Hari Raya Aidilfitri celebration, according to Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah. However, the Health Director General said it would most likely involve less serious cases under Category 1 and 2.
Walaupun kita jangkakan ada lonjakan kes sedikit selepas Hari Raya, tapi mungkin kes jangkitan ni dah pada peringkat yang awal ataupun pada kategori 1 dan 2, bukan keparahan yang lebih serius.
He said this at a media briefing session regarding the excess mortality during COVID-19 in Malaysia today. Malaysia's COVID-19 daily cases have seen a declining trend in the past week, hovering around the 5,000 mark and dropping to slightly over 4,000 yesterday, according to the COVID Now portal. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham cautioned that this will actually depend on each individual. He reminded Malaysians to continue and observe all the relevant standard operating procedures (SOP) despite the easing of some restrictions set by the government. He added that Malaysia was on the right track on its measures to curb the spread of COVID-19. The Education Ministry is in the process of identifying the root cause of why there were teachers who opted for early retirement. Senior Education Minister Dr. Razzie Jidin said the ministry noticed the trend started in 2017.
Jadi data yang kami ada bermula 2017, dia hampir sama 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Cuma data yang kita ke belakang itu yang kita agak terhad sikit, data yang sebelum 2017. Sebab itu kita masih buat perincian lagi, dan jika kita lihat trend ini bermula bila yang itu yang kita sedang cuba dapatkan maklumat lanjut. Namun data yang kita bincang pada hari ini pada waktu ini adalah bermula daripada 2017.
He said the ministry are currently looking into the reasons behind the early retirement and will disclose the findings to the public soon. It was previously reported that about 10,000 teachers had been opting for early retirement over the past few years, with the National Union of the Teaching Professions, NUTP, saying it was related to the increasing workload and the pressures of online teaching during the COVID-19 lockdowns. Lembaga Tabung Haji (TH) has reminded 14,306 prospective Hajj pilgrims to quickly respond to the Hajj offer letter within 7 days from the date the offer letter was issued. TH Hajj Executive Director Dato' Sri Said Saleh Said Abdul Rahman said due to time constraints, TH is appealing to the cooperation of prospective Hajj pilgrims to reply affirmative to the offer or otherwise. He said TH had begun sending the offer letters beginning today. In a statement today, Dato' Sri Said Saleh said the prospective pilgrims can visit www.thijari.com.my and upload the THI Jari application to check and answer the Hajj offers that have been issued. He also said the would-be pilgrims are also required to pass a medical examination to obtain a Hajj visa as stipulated by the Saudi Arabian government. The prospective Hajj pilgrim must also get a medical treatment record book at any of the TH branch offices to enable them to undergo health checkups and get an injection for a meningococcal quadrivalent vaccine. They must also complete the COVID-19 vaccine booster dose, and prospective pilgrims are encouraged to take the optional immunization shots, namely influenza and pneumococcal, as recommended by the Health Ministry. He also said after the health checks, prospective Hajj pilgrims will be required to send their reply to the offer letter, medical record book and international passport to any of the TH branch offices nearby. Bank Rakyat Group has announced a higher dividend of 15% for its account holders for the financial year ended 31st December 2021, compared with 13% in financial year 2020. This will involve a payout of 429.5 million ringgit to 827.66 members, and the dividend will be credited from April 25th, 2022. Entrepreneur Development and Cooperative Minister Tan Sri Noh Omar said despite the challenging environment triggered by COVID-19, Bank Rakyat was still able to maintain the double-digit dividend rate.
Pas 13%. Tahun sebelum pada itu 14%, turun 13% sikit. Tahun ini naik 15%, walaupun kita sudah maklum dalam keadaan ekonomi negara kita, perniagaan negara kita juga dilanda COVID-19, dan juga dalam usaha Bank Rakyat memberikan berbagai-bagai juga bantuan dalam membantu.
He said this in a press conference to announce Bank Rakyat's financial performance for the financial year ended 31st December 2021 today. Tan Sri Noh said Bank Rakyat was always concerned about the needs of its members, of which 30% were made up of individual recipients from the bottom 40% of the household income B40 group, while 20% were cooperative recipients from the B40 group. For the financial year ended 31st December 2021, Bank Rakyat recorded a profit before tax and zakat of 1.63 billion ringgit and a net profit of 1.86 billion ringgit. Meanwhile, Bank Rakyat Chairman Dato' Abdul Rani Labai Jaafar said the cooperative bank is on track following an encouraging 2021 financial performance driven by the group's financing and investment activities as well as lower funding costs attributable to the low overnight policy rate. Coming up, police seize shabu worth over 10 million ringgit in Selangor and Johor. The draft bill to ban smoking among those born in 2005 and after is in the final stages of review by the Attorney General's Chambers and is expected to be tabled in Parliament in July, according to Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin. He says several rounds of engagement, including with the cigarette industry, had been held to gather feedback from all quarters before the bill was finalised. Khairi said under the proposed act, children born in 2005 and subsequent years are prohibited from smoking and buying or possessing any type of smoking products, including electronic cigarettes or vape products, even after reaching 18 years old. Apart from this, shopkeepers and cigarette vendors are also not allowed to sell smoking products to those covered by the ban.
So, kita akan Kementerian Kesihatan, kita akan ada perjumpaan nanti dengan agensi penguatkuasaan termasuk custom, polis dan sebagainya. Sebab kita mestilah melaksanakan undang-undang ini sekali dengan pelaksanaan penguatkuasaan yang lebih ketat lagi. Kalau tidak, orang kata we cannot enforce. Jadi kita akan pastikan bahawa mereka juga terlibat dan kita isytiharkan perang besar-besaran terhadap pasaran gelap.
He said this to reporters after the launch of the generational and game anti-rokok 18 Gegar 18 at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Bandar Seri Putera near Bangi today. Also present was Senior Education Minister Datuk Dr. Razzie Jidin. Khairi said a study had begun among Form 4 and Form 5 students throughout the country to gauge their opinions on the matter. He said the initiative was also aimed at getting students who had never smoked to continue staying away from cigarettes, while those who have picked up the habit to quit smoking. Some 287 kilograms of shabu worth 10.3 million ringgit were seized in raids in Selangor and Johor. The syndicate was masterminded by a 25-year-old swimming instructor based in Puchong, who was arrested along with 3 other men. Bukit Aman Narcotics Crime Investigation Department NCID Director Dato' Ayub Khan Maidin Piche said that raids were conducted in Puchong and Johor Bahru last Friday and Saturday.
Dan modus operandi yang digunakan oleh sindiket ini adalah menyudup bekalan dadah daripada negara jiran utara Semenanjung menggunakan jalan laut sebelum dia sulup ke Lembah Kelang, tuan, transit di Lembah Kelang, dan seterusnya mereka akan menyudup keluar ke negara jiran, tuan, menggunakan laluan laut juga. Dan dadah ini, tuan, turut digunakan untuk diedarkan untuk pasaran tempatan di sekitar Selangor dan juga Johor. Tuan.
He said this in a press conference at Bukit Aman today. The syndicate is believed to have been operating since January. Assets belonging to the syndicate worth 133,000 ringgit were also seized during the operation. Dato' Ayub said Indonesia was the syndicate's destination of choice as shabu is worth more there. 1 kilogram of shabu in Malaysia is priced about 37,000 ringgit, but in Indonesia it is 100,000 ringgit. Police are still tracking down the remaining 61 Rohingya detainees who escaped from the Sungai Bakap immigration depot near Bandar Baru on 20th April. Kedah Police Chief Wan Hassan Wan Ahmad said they consisted of 51 men, 6 women, 3 girls and a boy. Wan Hassan said currently there are 8 detainees at the depot, namely 7 men and a girl, adding that the documentation process is ongoing before they were transferred to another depot. In a statement today, he said as of 3 p.m., a total of 467 escapees have been recaptured, comprising 243 men, 91 women, 68 boys and 65 girls. He also said that the operations to track down the remaining detainees are ongoing. Last Wednesday, 528 Rohingya detainees fled the depot, but 6 of them died after they were knocked down by a car while crossing a nearby highway. Malaysia para badminton ace Chia Lek Ho showed an impressive performance to emerge champion at the Brazil Para International Badminton Championship 2022 early this morning. According to the Badminton World Federation BWF official website, Lek Ho won the men's single SU5 upper limb disability category after beating Frenchman Marie Laquette in straight sets 21-17, 21-17 in the final in Sao Paulo. In competitive action for the first time since emerging champion at the Tokyo Paralympics last September, the 34-year-old sealed his 6th consecutive victory over Laquette in a men's singles event in several international tournaments. Despite winning this tournament, Lek Ho is still not satisfied with his performance after not playing for almost 7 months. According to him, his performance was not very consistent throughout the matches. However, he is determined to improve on his shortcomings later when he returns to Kuala Lumpur. Kawasaki Frontale lived up to their reputation as Asian club football giants when they thrashed Johor Darul Takzim JDT 5-0 in their AFC Champions League Group I match at the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium. In the return leg match, Coach Toru Oniki's men began in aggressive fashion to break the deadlock as early as in the 14th minute through a free kick taken by midfielder Yasuto Wakizaka. As JDT struggled to find a way back, the J1 League champions hit the home team with a second goal through Yu Kobayashi in the 31st minute. Kobayashi then scored with a powerful drive to make it 3-0 2 minutes before the break. Coach Benjamin Mora's men tried to stage a fight back in the second half, but to no avail. There was no stopping Kawasaki Frontale, however, as they made it 4-0 in the 81st minute through Marcio Barbosa before Chanatip Songkransin sealed a stylish win for Kawasaki 7 minutes later. After 4 matches, Kawasaki lead Group I with 8 points. Ulsan Hyundai and JDT both have 7 points each, but the South Korean club are second on goal difference. Guangzhou, who have lost all 4 matches, prop up the table. Earlier, Ulsan Hyundai of South Korea notched their second win when they downed Guangzhou FC also 5-0 at the Tan Sri Dato' Haji Hassan Yunus Stadium in Lakin. Ulsan were in cruise control in the opening stages and were rewarded in just 4 minutes when Yun Il Lok launched a well-placed curler into the corner of the Lipan's goal. Ulsan snatched their second of the evening through Mark Costa low drive header on the 54th minute mark. Substitute Avako Kazaishashvili made it 3 just 10 minutes later. Jun Amano then made it 4 for Ulsan in the 73rd minute, and Seol Yong-woo converted from close range for Ulsan's 5th and final goal of the evening. Amri Yahya notched a brilliant hat-trick to inspire Sabah to a 4-0 win over Kedah Darul Aman in their Super League match at the Lika Stadium in Sabah last night. The match was the first of the season to allow a full house at Lika Stadium, and Sabah dazzled the home fans with an impressive shutout in the clash of top 4 sides. Sabah, under the guidance of coach Dato' Ong Kim Swee, scored all 4 goals in the second half, with Amri finding the net in the 51st, 61st and 72nd minute. Pak Tesu then chipped in with one from a free kick in the 56th minute. Sabah moved a level with Kedah on 12 points but edged into second place on goal difference. In Seremban, Negeri Sembilan FC also won on their home patch when they edged Kuala Lumpur City 2-1 at the Tunku Abdul Rahman Stadium in Paroi. It was a strange night indeed for Negeri Sembilan's Harold Gulon, who netted all 3 goals. After opening the scoring for Negeri Sembilan in the 47th minute, he turned villain by scoring an own goal in the 74th minute. Fortunately for him, Harold managed to net the winning goal for Negeri Sembilan 2 minutes later. The win left Negeri Sembilan in 4th place on 11 points after 5 matches played, while defending Malaysia Cup winners KL City remain in 5th with 7. That concludes this evening's News at 10. In our top story, flash floods hit federal capital again. Join us again at 12:30 with me tomorrow afternoon. I'm Azlani. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM. Goodbye for now.